We here at the BREWDCAST have spent the past week in utter disgust alongside all the wrestling fans as we digest the news that broke last week. The situation with Vince McMahon has affected us and our perception of what professional wrestling is. Vince McMahon was a huge part of the fandom that everyone in the Brewd has. The WWF was our first real taste of professional wrestling. After consulting with one another, we've made the decision that Vince McMahon and all related guilty parties will no longer be a part of the BREWDCAST. We will discuss the WWE scandal as needed, but we will not be discussing Vince McMahon in any form. We stand by the victims of this assault and support them fully. The voices that need to be heard today are the voices of those who were victimized. We will continue to prop them up and tell their story. This is a process of healing, and this is the first step in that healing process. We thank you for listening and hope you will join us in having fun with the entertainment platform we know as professional wrestling. Thank you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the BREWDCAST. I am, as always, the Black Rose, Bud Robinson. With us tonight is Leon Robinson. Say hi, Leon.
Hi, Leon.
Hi, Leon. And also with us tonight is the Town Drunk. Why with the face?
When did you get a new gimmick?
I got one last week. The booker hooked me up with a new one. He thought it was getting a little stale.
Did you go to the gimmick store?
Yeah, otherwise known as Amazon. See, Amazon.
Let's start with the Royal Rumble.
You made me fucking watch that.
I watched the whole show. I watched the whole show, and afterwards I was like, that wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't. I agree.
My favorite meme is somebody posted a picture of the last two guys in the Royal Rumble, and they said, man, this Royal Rumble is dynamite.
Well done.
Great.
Well done.
I thought the women's rumble was fantastic.
I
thought they made Jade look amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Jade and Nia Jax having a match scares me because it'll be worse than Andre Warrior. It'll just be worse than Andre Warrior.
It was. Oh my god! Like the one big thing that the thing where Jade picked Nia up and like slammed her down. Nia just like tumbled. She like didn't even bump at all. She just tumbled onto the ground. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, Nia's not.
And it's like they were hyping Nia up, and I'm just like, why? And they're like,
now you know.
I don't. Why? Why are you doing that?
I totally forgot Jade worked for that company. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I think that was kind of.
Completely forgot.
I think that was kind of the point, and I think that added to the ambiance, the reaction, because she got a huge pop.
I don't know. She did, but I was just like, oh, cool, Jade's here. Whatever. She can't work. I don't care. Bailey winning was perfect.
I will say Jade did better than a decent portion of the Rumble participants, particularly the NXT crowd. So happy Bailey won as well.
It was interesting. There was some of there that were good. There was a lot of, and I believe I said this in the chat. I don't know if you guys remember me saying this, you guys and gals, but what I said was the glitz and glamour of that Royal Rumble, AEW can't touch it.
No.
The in-ring work, yeah, they can do that pretty easy.
Oh god,
they're way better in the ring.
Oh my god.
And I think that's kind of the world we're in right now. Like WWE, holy shit, they make everything feel big and it looks big and it's big, but then you get the in-ring work and you're just kind of like, ooh. And then AEW, it's like, yeah, these guys are gonna do crazy shit and it's gonna look great.
I assume we're gonna move on here. I just want to point out, I think. I really loved Ivy Nile in there. I've never heard of her. I liked her in there. Jordan Grace being in there was awesome. Trinity, as much as I would have loved her in AEW.
I want to get my word in on Jordan Grace because Booker T says that she needs to go to WWE and she can just get out of her TNA contract. It's no big deal.
It's not.
That's no big thing. She can just go to WWE.
Contracts aren't a thing.
Contracts don't matter.
You work for TNA. You know how that goes. Leon, what did you think of the Women's Royal Rumble?
I was happy that Bailey won.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of people who I'd never heard of before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's the problem with NXT though, is a lot of those people they're featured on a show that nobody watches.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a bunch of them on the main roster too. Like, I haven't hardly watched anything of them.
I did feel that
Like,
kind
since
of across
Mania
the
last
board.
year, I've watched like Punk's return, and that's about it. And then his return promo.
We'll get to that guy in a little bit.
And they
That's
have
fun.
intensely forgettable names. Like
we talked about this shit. Was that a year ago?
Yes,
Yeah.
that comment to yours was
Somebody went to
on.
generic pornstarnamegenerator.com.
I don't even think it's that. I think they went to behindthename.com and just typed in, just give me some women's names, and then that's it. Like, because as much shit as we give WWE for coming up with stupid names, at least they were memorable in the past. Like, Katana Chance isn't terrible, but it's still pretty forgettable.
Pretty fucking bad.
Like,
Freeze.
I just like.
Isn't one of them like Tatum Paxley or something? And that's just like
that sounds like a porn name.
Yeah, but they all do. Cora Jade. I'm Cora Jade. Well, let me guess, you do porn. That they've moved away from that a little bit. I think with Shawn Michaels being there, I see that less and less, which is he's killing it. And Trips is killing it. They're doing great.
Tiffany Stratton didn't look half bad. I mean, most of the women did not look half bad, except the one woman whose name I can't remember.
Tiffany Stratton looked like everything she did was rehearsed. And from what I read, they rehearsed the whole Royal Rumble, because I think there's a huge gap, because you have like Bayley and Becky and these women that are incredible. Like they're better than 90s. They're better than the men. Mm-hmm. You know, like there's no argument. Like they can fucking work. And then you have these girls who have come in that are just like, they're models. You know, we kind of went back to that for a little bit of time, and they're very athletic and they're very talented, but they don't know how to like call a match. So I was watching Tiffany Stratton. There was points where I thought she looks completely fucking lost.
That is a big gap, I think, between AEW and WWE, is that WWE has this class of women who were born from the indies.
And men.
Yeah, men, but I'm speaking of the women in particular, because I think they have some indie guys on the men's side. They kind of just stopped with the women, and now it's just like athletes, model.
But it's picking back up.
Yeah.
They're picking, which is really fucking good, because some of the people they have, it's like not so good. Let's move on to the Rumble, or the next match.
Yeah.
Which was what was the next match?
Who cares?
I care.
Who cares?
The men's Rumble.
The next. I thought it was too. It was.
I want to.
Oh, that was the next one I watched.
That was smart. Roman, Randy, AJ, and someone else. I don't even care. Like, I enjoyed watching AJ a little bit in this. It's
that guy that's it's LA Knight.
Oh yeah, LA Knight.
He's pretty popular.
That's nice. I don't care.
I'm gonna tell you what I saw in this match. I saw four guys who, they had a little bit of momentum. The match went back and forth a little bit. One guy stood out to me more than the others as being the fucking guy that was holding the match together and the guy that did the best job. And Leon, don't punch me in the face, but it was Roman Reigns. He, to me, was the star in this match. You can disagree with me all you want, but he was the one that mattered in this match. AJ was great. AJ's never bad. But Roman was like the one where it was just, that's what stood out to me was Roman. That's never happened before. I'm not trying to defend him and say he's the best worker in the world. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that he's better than we have ever given him credit for. Because Leon hates him.
I mean, none of us are super fond of him.
So I accept that, I guess. I trust your opinion.
I guess I agree with you to a certain extent. I think he was the focus, but I think he was the focus by design, not necessarily because the other guys were.
No, I agree. I agree with that
poorly.
Statement, but I agree with that statement. I don't think anybody in this match necessarily did bad, but I thought Roman was the one where it was like he had a good match. That was good. And it was kind of a showcase for him, which is good. You know, he doesn't wrestle enough. He doesn't do enough. Like I'm not going to argue that point. I'm not going to say, oh my God, he's the greatest thing ever. But I thought to me, he's what stood out in this match. So if that was their goal, they did a good job.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah. Roman was the focal point. I can't argue with
This
that.
is the first time we've ever reviewed a WWE show.
Yeah.
No, Mania. We did Mania. No, I think I just bitched about Mania. Never mind. Keep going.
I didn't, because I didn't watch it, and I would have rioted. The next one was Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens. This was surprisingly good.
Logan Paul's an athletic guy,
Mm-hmm.
and if you put him in there with somebody that can work, they can have a match.
Yes, but we just had a fatal 4-way where there was 4 guys in the ring who can work, and it was kind of a boring match. I watched this match and I was like, it's not AEW. Well, it was close to AEW level. I read a thing today where Logan Paul was like said hi to Paul Heyman as he was going out, and Paul Heyman was like, "Top that match, motherfucker," or something like that. And I was like, yeah, he did. He did. Like, Logan Paul and Kevin Owens
I'm not going to argue that.
had the match of the night. Now, granted, it was 2 matches,
that.
but...
I'm not going to argue that at all. That is very true. The only knock on this match was the ending was so dumb.
Yep.
How did that fucking ref see those brass knucks? What the fuck?
Yeah, as he's coming down for the third, I'm like, what the fuck are you...
Oh!
You weren't looking at him at all. Because that's how I count. I watch the mat until the third one. Then I look up and then, you got the thing.
You're busted.
You're fucking
that was so stupid.
It was so stupid.
You've been bad.
So stupid.
And like, my immediate thought when I saw that was like, AEW would have just given it to Kevin. They would have just given it to Kevin because he deserved it. Like, the crowd wanted Kevin to have it in that moment.
They have a plan for Logan Paul and they have a plan for KO, and they don't want KO to look bad, which is fair. And this is what happens when you book like that.
But this was swerve upon swerve to make that happen. Like, you could have just as easily been like, Logan Paul smacks him in the face and pins him. Like,
Yep.
he doesn't look bad there. He really doesn't.
No, because he got cheated. Whatever. It was whatever. It sucked. Let's talk about the men's rumble.
Okay. It was fine.
I thought it was good. I thought it didn't. Nothing really mattered till the end.
Yeah, that was
there was nobody in there.
Yeah, that was my biggest beef. Is like, the women's match had a through line. Because Bayley started at number 2. And I'm not saying that the only way you can have a good Rumble match is to put Cody at number 2 and let him fight all the way through. But that's what they did with the women's match. And it tied the whole match together. And then when she won, you're like, oh shit, she won.
I thought they did a good job with which Uso? Is it Jey Uso? Main event Jey Uso, right? Or yeah, I can't remember.
Jey.
I thought they did a good job with him, but you knew he wasn't going to win.
Yeah.
Andrade showed up, and I was like, neat. Cool. I don't care. I didn't care about Andrade in AEW. I didn't think they did anything with him, and I think like WWE the first time really dropped the ball with him, and then he went to AEW, and I'm like, maybe this guy's just not what he thinks he is. And he came out there, and I was like, cool.
He's a good worker. He's just not like, he doesn't have, as the kids would call it, the Riz. Like, he just doesn't.
He does not have the Riz. He does not have the Riz. R-Truth was a gem in this match, as he always is. I like it when he came out in the women's Royal Rumble and got thrown out.
Jesus Christ!
He's so.
Where are the
great.
guys?
What's going on?
Adam Pearce comes out. My one beef with that was they only let Sarah Logan, who they were making a big giant deal out of, Valhalla. She was in there for 5 seconds. Like, why the fuck are you doing that? If you're gonna make a big deal,
they're gonna start a feud with. I think they're trying to start a feud with them, which would be interesting. I guess I don't know. Who knows? What the fuck? They just wanted to do something. Yeah. I thought the men's Royal Rumble was pretty solid. There was a couple points where I was like, "Ooh, that was a fuck up. Ooh, that was a fuck up." Omos is tough to watch because he just can't move. And he worked with, oh my god, the guy that used to be Jonah. I don't know what they call him.
They used to be who?
Jonah. He was Jonah in New Japan.
Bronson
Reed. He gave him that boot and it was so mistimed, and then like he had to like throw himself over the rope, and he's like a 300-pound dude. It looks so freaking cringe. And then the Pat McAfee thing. The Pat McAfee thing was just
Dumb.
It was dumb. See, what they should have fucking done with that bit was have him stay in the match for like a minute 40 seconds so he can talk shit to Michael Cole. Having watched an entire WWE pay-per-view with Pat McAfee on it, I'm with you, Leon. Why the fuck is he there? 9 times out of 10, he doesn't even know who he's talking about.
It's not even his announcing. Like, it's his announcing, his show. Like, I don't get it, man. I've tried.
I'm with you. I can't speak on the show, but
I get his podcast because it's just like a bunch of idiots talking about shit, and that works. Like if you're a bro, it's perfect. If you're like not a bro, yeah, it's pretty tough.
I mean, once upon a time, maybe.
Punk, or we'll talk about Punk in a second. Cody had a good showing. I thought Cody looked great. I thought Drew McIntyre looked great.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about Punk.
Yeah, sure.
Did you see the thing Drew McIntyre posted?
Yeah, I think it's great. He looked like shit. He looked tired, he looked flabby, and he looked old. Okay? And I'm not trying to knock the guy, and I'm not trying to be a dick.
He looked saying he looked like he was in the best shape of his career. I was like, really?
He didn't look good. I didn't think he looked as good as he did on Collision.
Yeah.
When he left. I didn't think he looked that good. I don't hate Punk, and I think it's important for me to say that because it seems like I hate Punk. I'm irritated with Punk in many, many ways because I think he's a hypocrite, and I think he went back on what he said, and I think he's way more of an egomaniac than what he claims to be.
For sure.
But to take that bump and to tear your tricep, tell me about what about that move was like. That was a simple bump. You know what I mean? For a fucking trained professional. Now, if somebody that didn't know how to do it was going to go out there and take that bump, okay, but like,
I could hurt myself on it.
Yeah, I believe that. I probably could too. I'm old and I'm not fucking a wrestler, so I should shut up, but I'm not gonna. I just think for him, it's like it might be time to just say you can't wrestle anymore because you're always fucking hurt. And if you can't stay healthy, but then again, I think the true problem here is this.
I want his schedule.
I think the WWE style. No, listen to me. I think the WWE style is too reckless, and they don't know how to take care of their workers. And if he went to AEW where somebody actually cared about the workers, he wouldn't get hurt. This wouldn't happen over there. Because I heard that the other way, and then he got fucking hurt in his first fucking actual match on TV. Which is just like, yeah, what do you guys want to say now? What's the excuse now?
So I have 2 points that I want to make about Phil. The first is that somebody made a good point. Triple H has commented on this. Sting has commented on this. Edge has commented on this. Many older wrestlers who had part-time schedules have commented on the fact that having a match every once in a while is much more difficult than having a regular schedule because you don't get used to it. And Punk has not. He hasn't wrestled that much since he came back to WWE. So I look at that bump and I'm like, yeah, it kind of makes sense. Like, the other part of that is I just think I just wonder, like, is he not, like, I'm legitimately concerned about his well-being here. Like, is he not PTing his injuries properly? Or, like, is he not working with a trainer? Like, what's I don't know what's happening. I want to know because I don't want him to be injured. I know he's going to come back because that's what he wants.
Do you know how hard it is to tear a tricep?
I can't say. I do.
It's pretty fucking hard. You really gotta hit it right, and you gotta do it just right. And if this was one time, but he literally broke his foot in AEW, came back, and immediately tore his tricep. Mm-hmm. Immediately, and he comes here and immediately tears his tricep.
Was it the same tricep? Out of curiosity, do you know? I want him to be healthy. I want him to be happy.
No, it was left. It was left. It was the opposite one. So he tore them both.
Maybe he just has a condition. I don't know. Like, But
my thing though is that he's at a point where I don't think. I want to say they need to protect him and he needs to work safer, but then I just feel like I'm going back to that statement I just made, which was ridiculous. I don't think he can handle the shit he was doing was basic. It was basic stuff. It wasn't like we were, I did read some internet. The internet was amazing after that. It was so fucking amazing. I loved it. I fucking loved it because all the AEW fans were like, hey, I thought he only got hurt in AEW because we were so reckless. What happened? All the WWE fans are like, well, Drew McIntyre really went to business for himself. He really tried to hurt him. Oh my God, you're so fucking stupid. Shut up. I didn't think anything was out of the ordinary. I thought it just he's 45. He's beat up and he can't stay healthy. I think that is what it is. If they would have put the strap on him, the same fucking thing would have happened. So,
you're not wrong.
That's Phil. That's just what Phil is. On the flip side of that, Cody Rhodes winning the Rumble, great.
Mm-hmm.
Like legitimately fucking great. You're gonna finish that story, and the news that came out that Triple H wanted it to happen last year, but was overrode essentially, and someone else told him that he couldn't do that. It makes me think that Triple H has a fucking plan and understand what he's trying to do, and there's Cody's winning. If he doesn't, I don't know.
I would be shocked if he didn't.
I mean, it's time.
Mm-hmm.
It's time, and you can do Roman Rock.
Is he going for the workers' title?
No, he's going for the other one.
I don't know.
The other good part about the whole scenario that happened, is that I'm pretty sure we're gonna get Seth Rollins against Gunther. Gunther was a fucking beast in that Royal Rumble, and I put him over Rollins. Let him be a double champ. Let him go. That guy is such a he's amazing. To me, he was the highlight of the Rumble. He was the guy I watched and I said, that's the dude. He was better than anybody. I liked the show. I thought it was a good show. Was it the greatest Royal Rumble I've ever seen? Absolutely not. But it was watchable.
It was watchable. WWE, it was watchable.
That is fucking saying something because all the three of us watched it and nobody's sitting here like, wow, that was shit. We're all kind of like, yeah, it was good. It was fine. So that's a step in the right direction.
They were Rumbles.
Yeah, I don't particularly want to do it again. I'll be honest with you, but it wasn't terrible. It wasn't the worst.
I don't want to watch. There's something about it, and I was trying to figure it out because I was like, the pacing of this show is so fucking weird. Mm-hmm. And every time I watch a WWE pay-per-view, it's like the pacing to me. Like AEW pay-per-views, they have the pace, and it feels like a pay-per-view. WWE, it's like an extended Monday Night Raw. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't feel like...
It doesn't feel different.
Yes, that's exactly it. It just feels the same, and it's like, okay. So if you have a match on Raw and then you have it on the pay-per-view, it's like, I just fucking saw this. I don't care about this.
Yeah.
So it's really easy to...
There's fewer stakes, maybe. I would agree. That was my primary beef with the 4-way was that, like, it was just a bunch of punching and kicking, and I'm like, I know you guys can do more than this.
That's
I know
style,
it,
though.
but it was
that's
just like that's the WWE style, exactly.
Yeah, that needs to change. I'm hoping Hunter kind of changes that a little bit, but
I mean, they've spent like 5 minutes of LA Knight bouncing people's heads off the commentary table. Like, stop it. Just stop. I don't want to hear anybody say yeah anymore.
He's extremely popular.
I mean, that's fine. That's great for him. I don't want to watch him.
He's the new Rock. That's what people are saying. I'm not even kidding. Not even kidding.
That's great. I get that. Like, I understand that analogy, and that's great. But as a worker, he's not the Rock. At least not in this style. I'm sure, like, he had success in the Indies and TNA. Like, I'm sure he can work, but we're not seeing it. And that's just
Agreed.
WWE right now.
Agreed. What's our next topic?
I don't remember.
I know we talked about...
Was it WWE's... Was it WrestleMania? Or did we cover that enough?
I think we all kind of agree what WrestleMania needs to be.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think Cody needs to go after Rollins now that Punk isn't doing it. And then I think they need to do Roman Rock.
He lost to freaking Roman last year. If he gets the B title that nobody gives a shit about, are you kidding me?
I mean, that's fair.
He's gotta go. He's gotta go get that title.
I am certain they still want to do Rock Roman.
They do, but they're not going to do. They're going to do it later in the year, is what they're saying.
Okay.
Because I think they have a little more access to Rock.
I do hope. I do hope that they. I hope that what they do is. I guess maybe I'm not saying that's what they should do. I'm saying that's what I'm expecting them to do.
I don't.
I would love to see. I would love to see.
I watched the press conference afterwards, and Cody made it very clear. He's like, the only thing I want to do is beat Roman Reigns. That's what he said to the press.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing.
Psych!
Like 100%.
Going after Gunther for the IC title.
Ha!
I would love to see Cody take the title off of Roman. Roman takes a few months off and then fights Rock.
Yeah, because he needs some time off because he's been working so hard.
That's right. That's right. He's they need to protect their workers more. That's the problem.
He needs a vacation,
especially their world champion. I swear, he's just working all the time. Wait, he's the Universal Champion. My bad.
He's whatever.
He is whatever.
I think AEW is prime right now if they can keep their shit together and kind of focus on what they're doing. I think they're going to land some people. I think like a Drew McIntyre. I could see them landing a Drew McIntyre because I think he's still not signed. The rumor is that Finn Balor's not signed. I could see these guys kind of looking, especially a situation like that. And
yeah, but
I think
I also look.
I think if I'm TKO, I want fresh. I want new. I want people to forget. Like let's rebrand this fucking thing. Let's change the logo. Let's move past all that, and let's just like start afresh, start anew. Which I think might not be a bad idea.
Even without all of what's come out, I think that's not a bad idea. Just because we've dealt with a particular product for the last 20 years, and people are getting sick of it. Even the WWE drones will be droning, but like people like us have fallen off. And I think if TKO has any intention to get back the professional wrestling fan, they need to change things. I wonder
if they do. I wonder if they do, though. Because they're making so much money. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter.
I mean, yeah, but eventually, like, casual... You can't rely on the casual fan. But then there's the WWE fan. Like...
The drone, yeah.
Who's and maybe that's who they're trying to keep. I don't know.
I think so. I think that prior to where we're going now with TKO, I think WWE secretly hated the casual fan, or not the casual fan. They hated the true hardcore diehard wrestling fan. They hated us,
especially because the execs. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think they hated us, and I think that that became very clear. So I'm curious if they're even going to give a shit.
Well, I mean, how many stories have you told about Roman Reigns getting booed out of an arena? How many times have we seen John Cena get shit on? And he was still more effective, I think, as a champion than Roman Reigns is. But that's because of us. That's not because if it's just up to the execs in WWE, this is our guy. They're just going to say, this is our guy. You cheer for him now. And WWE fans would just do it. Because it worked in 1984 with Hulk Hogan. And they tried the same thing with 93 with Lex Luger, and it didn't work. Mm-hmm. And they tried the same thing in... who was after Luger? In 97, they were trying to, babyface Rock. They wanted to push him. Mark Romero. They had a couple guys that they were like, these are our guys. Mm-hmm. And then Steve Austin showed up, and it was like, oh, I get it. Well... probably should go with him. Mm-hmm. And then it was Cena. Though Cena was pretty organic when he got over. Fairly, yeah.
Because I think there was other people that they were interested in getting over. Cena just happened to do it. But then when Roman came along, it was just like, that's the guy. We got to get him. We got to get him pushed.
Steel blue eyes.
And it was so stupid.
I think the problem with Cena was he got over organically, but then got shoved down our throats. Roman had neither. He did not get over organically, and he got shoved down our throats.
Do you remember Steve Austin's T-shirt? Austin 316?
Yeah, Austin 316.
And he had that for so long, and then he had the Blood from a Stone shirt. Mm-hmm. which was fucking awesome. And he never went super crazy with those T-shirts,
Mhm.
and he just kind of wore that one,
Mhm.
which is part like the NWO. That's why it's iconic because it was always that shirt.
Mhm.
John Cena changed colors constantly.
Yes, he
To the
did.
box of Fruity Pebbles. And here's my new color. Buy my shit. You know, it was just like, oh.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, it was just palette swaps of the same shit
Mhm.
usually.
It never changed, and it was the same fucking shit.
Yeah.
He had the same shirt for like legit 8 years, and it never changed other than the color. They just changed the fucking color. And he would run a color for like 3 to 4 months, then switch. And it was just like, oh my god, you gotta be shitting me.
It's true.
Every time you switch it, it's a new set that those parents got to buy for their kids.
That's also true. Yeah.
If I had a child that liked John Cena, I'd disown it. That's not true at all. It's not true at all.
In most cases,
That's
but
not true at all. If I had a child, I'd let it love kayfabe as much as it could, because I remember being a kid and loving Hulk Hogan, and it was fun.
Yeah.
It was a fucking blast when you didn't know any better. Those are the days that, like, we talk about making wrestling fun, and those are the days you miss because, like, you just bought into the kayfabe. You asked no questions. It's like, oh, he's a good guy. Oh, he's a bad guy. Oh, I can't believe he did that. Beat him up. And it was just like, oh, like Hulk Hogan had the same wrestling match 400 fucking times. But every single time as a kid you watched, you were in there. It was like the edge of your seat. It was amazing.
It's true. Yeah.
And now we're old and bitter, and we sit on the internet and bitch about wrestling.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okada. I think he's going to AEW.
Who knows? I don't even know that Okada knows at this point. I think he's still trying to figure it out.
Well, the latest is that he hasn't had any real actual talks with WWE because he just wants to go to AEW and be with those guys. I think Okada. Well, Tony Khan has a big announcement next week. I'm pretty sure it's the signing of Okada.
Unless it's not.
But if you,
and in which case he'll announce that.
I ate too much Raisin Bran and I took too big of a shit today.
I neutered my cat last week.
I saved a bunch of money in my car insurance by switching to Geico. Geico, please sponsor us. Yeah, I think it's Okada. I think you get Okada and Ospreay, and I think Tony leans into that, like we just talked about before. I think you lean into it. You got Ospreay, you get Okada, you just lean into that fucking work rate and go.
Yeah.
Because that's, if you remember 2021, what were they doing? Mm-hmm. They were killing work rate, and they just went. Mm-hmm. That's what they need to do. And I think for the first time, and this is going to sound crazy, but like I clearly saw how I can enjoy WWE and I can enjoy AEW also. And not like, I watched that Rumble and I didn't compare it to AEW, which is really fucking good, because if I did, it would be like the in-ring work sucked. Just to kind of look at that through a different lens. And my hope is, we talked about this at the start of the year, I don't want to be negative about WWE. I want to watch it and be like, yeah, it's okay. And that's, like I said, that was what we felt about Rumble. Am I going to watch 3 hours of Monday Night Raw? No, because I have more than 8 brain cells. So
I'm keen on AEW. I will watch that, NJPW, and whatever other random shit I happen to find.
I just remember like GCW shit like that. I like watching shit like that once in a while too. Just something a little different. But like there's shit going on in WrestleMania that I'm interested in. Like if Gunther is gonna fight Rollins, sign me up. Because that'll be great. Cody Roman, I want to watch it because I want to see if Cody's actually gonna fucking win.
Yeah.
If he doesn't win, I'm gonna be on here bitching about it because I'm like, you are fucking stupid. I hope I don't have to do that this year.
I really hope so too.
What about like Mania? Are you gonna watch Mania?
I'm sure that like probably not live, but I mean I'm sure I'll go through and pick out matches that I want to watch.
Yeah, I think that I'll probably have it on in the background because that's what I did with Rumble. I was doing other shit, but I had it on and I was like, the Rumbles I was interested in, the Roman match. I'm excited. Like I can sit here and say I have some excitement for Mania because I think they're on the cusp of doing something new, which hasn't been the case for quite a while. 10 years.
Yeah, 20 years.
10 years. 10. Daniel Bryan was new. That worked.
It was, but then they went back to it. They went back to all of their same shit. Punk was new, and they went back to all their same shit. Like they've had outliers like poke through the WWE.
And they let them through for a little bit, and they're like,
and then they shut it down. Kofi Mania.
Go back.
They're like, here, do Kofi Mania, sell some T-shirts, now get the fuck out of here. We don't want to see Kofi Mania.
Oh, by the way, when you lose that belt, you're getting crushed in 8 seconds.
Yeah. That's just how they book shit, and it's so frustrating. So I hope they do change.
I feel basically on what I'm hearing and what I'm watching that the shit's not booked the same way. It's a little different. Mm-hmm. We'll see. I have hope. And I think that was when we did the start of the year predictions and whatnot. I think you, Bud, were kind of the one that was like, you had hope. You had more hope probably than all of us. I just don't want to be bitter about it because I feel like we're bitter. But we're bitter for a good reason. But like, hope is great. Let's have hope. WWE should be great. There's no reason it can't be. With all the talent, all the people they have, and Booker T in the background, not understanding what contracts mean. I think Adam Cole should just show up next week to Raw because that'd be better for him than being in AEW.
They should rename it.
He's got a contract. Well, it doesn't matter. He can still come. They'll just tell him that he's not going to be there anymore. I don't know, Book.
How is everything that's going on with WWE distract from AEW? Because I think it does. And I'm not just talking about the drama. I'm talking about you have Punk just had the last week, maybe 2. That's all I'm hearing about is WWE. And I'm less interested in AEW.
You know, the only positive to that, though, is before that, all you heard was how shitty AEW was doing. They can't sell to the crowd. They can't do this. They can't do that. They don't know how to do this. They don't know how to do that. Spotlight's off of them. And I don't think that's bad right now.
That's fair.
So let them do their thing. And, like, just, you know, you have your audience. You know what your audience is. And the people that are bitching aren't the people that are watching. It's the WWE drones that are like, AEW sucks because John Cena. You know, and
until they sign John Cena. Then John Cena sucks.
He never was that good. We didn't even like him.
I am a bit concerned with all of the momentum that WWE is getting. That it will overshadow Sting's departure from the wrestling biz. That is my big concern. Like, because Revolution has never been, at least from my point of view, the pay-per-view. It's usually decent.
Never, I would agree.
It's never the pay-per-view. And
I think he's enough of an icon that everybody's going to focus on that and be like, boom, he's done. And I think I could see like Triple H commenting on that, and I could see like people in WWE commenting on that. And WWE needs some goodwill right now. They got to be real positive. They can't be petty. They can't take shots because they look very not good. I think
Triple H did in his press conference.
He took a shot. Yeah, he did. I remember that. Yeah.
Who did he take a shot at? What?
His press conference also. There was a couple moments where I was like, dude, if you're running this company and you answer that question that way to a question that you were asked.
Oh, yeah. I heard that he gave some non-answers that were not very favorable.
No, and he just didn't want to talk about it, which is fine. But it's like, dude, you're going to have to talk about it at some point. I just think getting that spotlight off of AEW and what's going wrong will be great. Like I said, I think they need to focus in on that in-ring work and just kind of go be what you are, and then let WWE be what they are, and let the chips fall where they may. And let's see what happens. My opinion of the situation, I think, compared to yours, is like you're worried about that. I'm more worried about the fact that outside people look at that story and they're going to say, wow, professional wrestling's really fucked up. And all of professional wrestling is going to get a bad name for one company because AEW is not that. There's other companies that aren't that. You know, you can't label one company as professional wrestling and everybody else just follows suit. but they're so big and they're so old and well known that that's what's going to happen. So kind of tarnishes.
I mean, yeah, but I think if that is the case, which I'm not sure, but it makes sense if it turns out that way, because there are some really, really dark moments in professional wrestling.
There are.
Dark clouds, dark individuals.
I
think the company that takes the brunt of that is WWE, because they have spent a long time trying to harness casual fans, trying to harness their own personal kind of fan. But like, we understand, like, a lot of AEW's audience and TNA's audience and NJPW's audience are wrestling fans, not sports entertainment fans. Mm-hmm. And so we know the business differently.
Shit rolls downhill. Shit rolls downhill.
I don't know if it's the same hill though. I'm not saying one way or the other.
Fair.
I'm not sure.
It could be if I'm a sponsor and I'm looking at what just happened, and then I'm looking at AEW like, well, I don't want anything to do with those fuckers. Look what that one guy bled in that other guy's mouth. What the fuck are they doing behind this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they didn't.
I think the biggest thing that I had happen in the past week is just questioning my fandom.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was just like everything, all these like memories and this nostalgia and all this stuff that we went through and like built these wrestling, just like our fandom. It was just like everything was just like, oh my God, what am I doing? And that was hard. I mean, that was hard.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard to It was hard. I think I'm the only one that read the complaint. I don't think either of you read the complaint. I read the complaint.
No.
I read the complaint from start to finish.
Yeah, I didn't read the whole thing.
I was literally sick. And I'm just sitting there like, there's so many things I look back on that happened over my years of watching WWE that suddenly don't look the same. There's a ton of things that suddenly look way, way worse. And it's just... it was sickening, and it's just like, why am I a fan? Why do I like why do I like this?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's and like I told you, Bud, tonight, I was very distracted tonight during Dynamite. Maybe that's part of it, but it's just like, fuck, you know, you feel like you got sold a false bill of sale or something, because it was fucking hard. It was hard. Reading that was hard. Comprehending that was hard. Processing and dealing with it is hard. And I know when we first talked, everybody was super emotional about it because it was the fucking present and we were dealing with it in that moment. But as I got more time to sit there and think about it, I was like, this feels even worse now. You know, because like we supported it, not knowingly.
Mm-hmm.
Like we didn't know what was going on, but like we fed into that machine, and this is what was going on, and it's just like.
Yeah, even not knowing still doesn't feel great.
It hurts. It's just like shit. I went to WWE shows, and it's like, fuck. And I really struggled. With wanting to watch the Royal Rumble because I'm like, I just want this product to go away. I don't ever want to hear WWE again. That was my initial reaction. But then I'm like, I know that's not going to happen, and I need to like... let's process this, let's watch this, and let's try to get through this. And I think that they knew that, and I think that's the kind of show they tried to create.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it, like I said, I thought it was a good show. I thought it did what it needed to do, but this is one of those things that just, it's sickening. It makes you feel like shit for supporting wrestling. It makes you feel stupid, which WWE is so good at, making you feel stupid.
God, yes.
But it's just like, how the fuck did this go on for as long as it did, for as many times as it did, and nothing ever like got done? And I think that's my biggest issue with it, is the fact that it was through storyline flaunted in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, those fucking storylines weren't storylines. They weren't.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's just you like
barking like a dog hits kind of different now.
Yeah. and the other shit. Like it's just go ahead, bud.
Can we pause this conversation for a moment, exit out, and then we can talk? Because we're getting more close to the actual thing, and I think it'll be easier for us to be more emotional. So.
Okay. Let's end this.
Yes, this has been the BREWDCAST. I have been the Black Rose bed. Damn it.
Ben Robinson.
Now I got to send it back. This is Leon. This is Town, and we're all out of here. Good night.
Bye, Ben Robinson.
Fuck.
Never know the truth of their story.